Hello there. So I'm Christy Koo. I have been a freelancer since late 2018 now, so we're coming up to like 4 years or so. My work is very multidisciplinary, but I mostly work as a writer. I'm predominantly known as a poet and spoken word artist. I also do performing, I do workshop facilitation, I do photography. I just kind of appear when summoned and someone needs creative work, essentially. Over the years, I've been asked many times, how on earth do you do your taxes? And because I am truly a Capricorn on the deepest level, I've decided to make a Notion template. It's all on how to do your taxes as a creative freelancer. So it's full of guides to walk you through the process. I've tried to make it as simple as possible for you to understand. I've also included lots of templates, invoice tracker templates, expenses tracker templates, template. The word has lost meaning. Anyway, and it is free. It is a completely free resource for you to have. If you're like sold, bingo flamingo, just click the link in the description and just go have at it. It is a pay what you can system, so if you can and you want to, please do drop me a little crumb of a monetary appreciation during this cold winter, thanks to this Tory government. Anyway, for those of you who want to stick around and see like a full walkthrough, welcome. I'm going to take you through it. You might be asking, what is Notion? So the best way for me to describe it is, imagine if all of Google Drive and Google Workspace kind of met Trello, that kind of like task board thingy where you can like move all the items along. I don't think I'm making sense. I'll put some kind of like image description in the video. So Google Drive, Trello, and your Notes app, they all came together and they fused and took the best of each other and made something. It would be Notion. It is by far my favorite and the best digital workspace thingy I've ever used. It's so good. It's also very clean and like minimalistic and makes me feel like a proper like creative freelance professional when I use this. We're not sponsored by Notion, but if you're watching, hello, email in the description, please contact me. Right, so let's walk through. We're now cut to like this kind of like gaming setup where you have my face in a little corner and you have a screen recording and voice recording. By the way, this is my microphone. This is just so you can like hear me clearly. This is the homepage. This is how to do your taxes as a freelancer. This is a little note to say when it was last updated. I'll update it and revise it annually because like rates and numbers change on a year-to-year basis. Important note, this is for people who are based in the UK, who have a UK citizenship. If you are from abroad, I can't help you. I'm sorry. It falls beyond my area of expertise. So I don't know is the answer. However, if you go on like the .gov website, they have a lot of resources on how to do your taxes. If you're American and watching this, I'm really sorry, because the more I learn about your tax system, the more I get why a lot of Americans hate taxes. Why don't they just make it easier for them? Also important to know, I am not a financial expert. Please limit the questions you ask me, because if it's not in this Notion guide, I probably don't know the answer. This is simply the sum total of all my knowledge compiled over several years just in one place. So the next person who asks me like, Christy, how do I do my taxes? I can just send them this and it will should answer all the questions. Anyway, right, so we have a little friendly note. Please don't duplicate it and steal it because I will be sad. There's a little hello toggle, so that just introduces myself, a link to my website, telling Notion users how to use it. So if you're on Notion, you can just straight up duplicate it, which is here. And then it should duplicate the entire thing, so then you can like keep hold of it and use it as you wish, or you can just duplicate the templates that are useful to you. For people who aren't on Notion, they can bookmark it, they can save the link, they can do whatever they wish, and come back to it whenever they want. This is the contents. So we have an introduction, the who, what, why, when of taxes, how to do them. So I'll try my best to walk you through it, and then all the record keeping templates. So this is a toggle, we'll go down invoice template, invoice tracker, expenses tracker, and then we have other resources for further readings if you do so require. This is your to-do list. So as you're going through this, you're like, oh, I need to do X, Y, Z. You can make a note and be like, blah, 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 blah. That was a weird noise. I apologize. This is my little Ko-Fi panel. So if you wish to drop me a tip, please do. If not, it's calm. Now, mostly because there was a blank space here, I was like, why don't I just make a Spotify playlist and embed it into this? So we have a Doing Your Taxes playlist, and it's songs that are kind of about money to motivate you to do your taxes, or at least keep you upbeat during this very tedious admin task. If you have song suggestions, please let me know. Please write them in the comments and I will probably add them to the playlist. We also have my social media links. I am at Kukadoodles on everything. If you want to give me a follow, I need to add my YouTube on here actually. Work is never done. This whole project on how to do your taxes originally was commissioned by Care to Culture, which is a charity my friend set up. It aims to help children and young people who have lived in the care system or are currently living in the care system. It aims to give them the resources and knowledge and just empower them to seek a career in the arts and cultural spaces, or just access the arts and cultural spaces, because it should be open to everyone. So with thanks to Care to Culture, especially Bathsheba Baptiste, for commissioning me to write this. It was an article at first, but I feel like this is a bit more accessible now. And my wonderful proofreaders, John D. Barker, Lizzie Reed and Finch Soul, looked over this and gave me very crucial feedback and spotted stuff, so thank you very much. If you have any feedback or questions, or you spot any errors on the page, I have a Google form built here. So just click on it and fill out the form. So when you click the Google form, it will take you to a new tab. It is very, very simple. Just throw in your email. That's so I can like respond to you to let you know things have been fixed, or if you had any like specific questions and somehow it's within my realm of knowledge and I can help you. And then let me know anything you want to say. It's great, yay. And then you can toggle this to send a copy of your response if you want to know what you sent to me. Otherwise, just submit and I will receive it. Back to the home page. So Notion, annoyingly, when you use it on mobile, you can't really, it's not really like a back button you can just flip back to. So you'll have to kind of navigate it by like the top bit. Let me try and see what I mean. So you see this section. Hopefully you can see my mouse. You'll have to like go back and forth via these kind of tabs rather than hitting the back button or the forward button. I can't do anything to fix that, so I apologize. But please take your complaints to Notion and not me. Right, so introduction. The bare minimum when you do your taxes as a sole trader and freelancer, keep track of what came in, keep track of the costs. That is literally it. That is literally it. I think when you earn above like a certain point, when you're quite a high earner, that's when it gets a bit more complicated. But to be honest, at that point, just hire an accountant. Don't be coming to some random girl you found on YouTube. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And you can also just use the form. If you just follow the form on the government website, it'll just take you through it. The governments have been taking taxes for a long time, so they have resources. So we have the contents page of the introduction, so you can just kind of look through here and then select any of the questions that are particularly relevant to you, and it will provide you the information. So for example, you're like, do I need to register as a freelancer? Click on that, it'll pop up, and then it'll give you the information you need. You've got register as a sole trader, the links, some explanation, answers to your questions. Big up all the photographers on Unsplash. Thank you for the beautiful stock images. A common question is, if I have a day job and I'm freelance, what happens? You literally just register as a sole trader, and they'll ask if you're on a PAYE system as well, which is like when you're employed and you receive a when you receive a pay slip. Just hit yes, and then HMRC will work it out for you. It's all fine. Taxes always like feel very scary and confusing, but actually it's like way simpler. In terms of when do I pay taxes, so the financial year runs from April to April, not January to January, and you pay for the year that's gone, not the one that we're currently in. So if you are watching this as of 9th of December 2022, you are paying for 6th of April 2021 to 5th of April 2022. Anything past that, next year's problem. It's fine. Forget about it. Your freelance taxes, they are due on the 31st of January 2023 as of this, whenever you're watching this. Basically from April onwards, you can start filing your taxes. You're never too early to file them, essentially. And we have sources, so you know I'm not just pulling information out my ass. Back to the homepage. So you're now informed, you're enlightened, you know how to do things. How do you actually do them is the question. So how do I set my account, how to actually fill it out, a cash basis system, which is a system I use, which again is essentially just adding up all your business income, take off your allowable expenses. That's it. I've included a YouTube video to explain it and also a link. I've got how to fill out your return section, income section, expenses section, and tips and other information. A lot of people tend to have expenses questions, like what is an expense? And I've done my best to explain it. I've got like, what can I expense? So I've got the official HMRC definition. And I've also got things that you can't expense. That's from what I've learned over the years, what other freelancers and those in the business have told me. I've got tips and other information to help you keep track of your expenses and your incomes. Important note, charity donations are tax deductible. So if you donate to charity, keep track of all those receipts. So they don't count as an expense, but I put them in the expense section purely because it's an outgoing thing. And I felt that one would be easier for you to juggle in your head. I'll keep updating it, so if I keep learning like, oh, this thing is actually an expense, I'll include it. For those who don't know, expenses are basically just costs you used to fund your business. The example I use in the guide is that if you ran an Etsy store selling handmade jewellery, your expenses would be the materials used to make your jewellery, the website costs, if Etsy have a membership cost, whatever that might be, the tools you use to make it, Instagram, marketing ads, any props to take the product shots, the camera you use to take the product shots, stuff like that. I'm filming this as the sun sets, by the way, and it's literally like 3 p.m. in the UK. We just don't have daylight here, apparently. I assume you can see me okay. If not, good luck to editing me. Next section on the contents, we have the record keeping templates. So we have your invoice template. Some people don't know how to issue templates, which is fine, we all learn. I have templates for you, so you can simply click on it and download it. So I've made a PDF version. You can take it, copy and paste it, amend as you need. Also, if you have Adobe Acrobat or the PDF editor or whatever, you can edit it directly and then issue all your invoices like that. I also have a Word version, so if you want to download that and amend it, that should be fine. You should also be able to, when you get the Word doc version, to just export it into whatever version you need. I'm gonna walk you through the invoice PDF. So it's fully customizable as you need. In here, if you have a logo, slap it on. If not, it's fine. Your name, your phone, your email, your UTR code. That is a code you'll get once you register as a freelancer. It will be issued to you. If you're like, what's that? I've already registered. What is that? It's in your account, so just have a look there. You'll be fine. And then you issue it to the business name and the business address. It's quite important to number all your invoices for your own personal record keeping, and also for the company's record keeping. So when you're like, oh, what happened to invoice 005, they'll be like, I know what invoice you're talking about. It's especially important if you're working with the same company multiple times and you're issuing multiple invoices to them. That way they can keep track of like which invoice you meant. So my template for invoice numbers is IN001, and the 00s are the number of invoices I've sent. So if this is your first ever invoice, it'll be IN001 that you've issued. If this is your 200th invoice you've issued, it will be IN200. Make sure you put down the date you issued it, so the date you sent it out to them, because invoices should be paid within 30 days according to UK law. Whether or not they actually do it is another question, but we'll come back to that another time. Payee is you, so your legal name and your address, you are the payee, your details, your bank, your sort code, your account number, all that stuff. And then you fill out the service, what you did, any further details that they might need, any reference codes, dates you did the work, so on and so forth, because the person you've been communicating with in the company might not be the same one that's issuing the invoice. It might be in their finance team, so you want to make it easy for the finance team to be like, oh, I know what project you're on about. Slap down the cost, slap down the total, and then this is the kind of small print that I use on all my invoices, and you can just use it word for word.
Hello, Editing Christy here. I did originally go through the small print and attempted to give you an example, but it turns out my maths was incorrect. But essentially, the small print is important because if they are late paying you, you're entitled to like late fees, and the longer they don't pay you, the more money you'll get. And companies can't contract out of it, so they can't be like, you can't claim any late fees. Even if you read the contract and you signed it with that clause in, it doesn't work. It holds no power. You have more power. You have the trump card, and they will have to pay the late fee no matter what they put in that contract.
So that's how you issue an invoice. So when you do some work, send that out, get your money. This is your invoice tracker. I have made this for both Notion and non-Notion users. So for Notion users, you can duplicate it and just use it directly and delete any bits that you don't want. Non-Notion users, this link will take you to a Google Sheets version that you can download, duplicate, and then use as you wish. For other folks, you can straight up just download it onto your computers. So here you would just fill out the invoices you tracked, the invoice number, the company name, the project details, the amount you sent, the date you sent it out, hit yes or no for whether or not it's paid, and then you can upload a copy of your invoice here, so you can just kind of like whack it back out whenever you need to. You can continuously use this indefinitely, I hope, so when the end of the tax year runs out, you can simply hit this button and then it will give you a whole new year for you. So I've already pre-filled out next year's. This is the expenses tracker, so for Notion users you can duplicate it and use it directly. For non-Notion users you can click the link below for a Google Sheets version, which is here. You should be able to just copy that straight up, and you can also download it. Got a bit dark, so I've just turned on my desk light and I don't know if I look horrendous. Same as the invoice tracker, you can just hit that for a new tax year. And this is the expenses tracker, so your item, any details, the amount, the date you purchased it, and any receipts or evidence. Please do keep track of your receipts or evidence. It is quite unlikely that you'll be audited, so that's when the tax folks are like, ayo, show us evidence please, we're just double checking, and you gotta be like, haha, I've got everything, you can't catch me. Please do keep your evidence indefinitely, because you could be audited for any year at any time. Just FYI. And last of all, we have other resources, so the full playlist of videos from HMRC on self-employed tax. HMRC are the folks that will collect the tax. That should give you all the information, and then articles from HMRC on how to set up as self-employed in the first place, and that should be all the information you know. So I hope this makes doing your taxes less terrifying. I've got the system set up for you, I've got guides set up for you, and as I said before, this is free. Please just take it, please use it, please just send it around to all your friends and all your colleagues, include it in your own email newsletters, post it on social media, whatever. If you can pay, if you can drop a little something, this is the Ko-Fi page. You can drop me £2 or more to use this resource. You can also just go directly on my Ko-Fi to drop your appreciation. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope this was useful. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time. Now I have to actually do my own taxes. That's fun. Good luck and goodbye.